Well, you've made it. You walked the whole path, didn't you? From the very foundation all the way to the music of the unstruck sound. You've seen the map of my horde. So welcome, student. Welcome to the final lesson.
I want you to really hold on to these words because they are the key to everything we're about to talk about. The goal isn't to hide what you've learned. It's to honor it, truly honor it.
And you need to understand this right now. Our focus is shifting. Your time of gathering knowledge, of accumulating, that's over. Now, your journey as a guardian begins. Because knowledge, you see, much like my own fire, is not something to be thrown around carelessly.
I've seen more cycles of the sun and moon than you can possibly imagine. I've watched your empires rise, and I've watched them crumble into dust. And through it all, I've watched this one particular flame. Sometimes it's just a flicker, hidden away in a cave. Other times, it's a brilliant bonfire for all to see. I am a witness to its long, long story.
So let's look to the past for a moment. To really understand how to carry this flame forward, you first have to understand how it was protected for thousands of years, back when it was a precious, hidden thing.
You know, the teachings were never just simple step-by-step instructions. They were often wrapped up in this twilight language. And you might ask, why? Why so secretive? Well, because these practices are potent. They can even be dangerous without the right guide. You needed a true guru to translate the symbols, to protect the student.
And let's be really clear about the original goal here. This was never about a quick fix or getting a new hobby. The whole point was nothing less than a complete, radical transformation of the self, a journey toward true spiritual freedom.
So passing it on was this incredibly sacred trust. A teacher would use all their wisdom to see who was truly ready, who was worthy of getting this powerful knowledge. It was a relationship, a bond built on deep discernment and respect.
But that ancient way, well, it's given way to the great challenge of your time. I've watched as that carefully guarded flame has become a kind of public spectacle, a marketplace full of shiny objects and promises that fade as quickly as they appear.
And the shift is, well, it's stark. Look at this. The profound spiritual goals of the past have been swapped out for the modern market's promise of physical and mental wellness. The entire purpose has been, well, it's been repackaged.
And there it is, put as plainly as it can be. What was once whispered from a guru to a disciple is now just broadcast and sold. The most sacred symbols are sometimes treated like mere decorations, their power and reverence totally lost in the chase for profit.
This has, of course, kicked off a huge debate. On one side, people argue that this makes the practice accessible to everyone, which allows more people to benefit. But on the other side, many are afraid that it's just watering down the very essence of the path, stripping it of its sacred power.
Which brings us right to the heart of the matter. The central question for your generation. How do you give away a piece of fire without it just becoming a meaningless little flicker? That is the puzzle you have to solve.
This is where the wisdom of a dragon comes in handy. I've been guarding this kind of thing for eons. My job here isn't to teach you the practice itself, but to help you recognize the true keepers of the flame out there in your world.
So, how do you actually do it? In a world that is so full of noise and marketing and empty promises, how on earth can you find someone who carries that authentic light? Well, there are signs. You just have to learn how to see them.
Okay, first things first, look for a guardian of the sacred lore. A true teacher will have this profound respect and a deep, real understanding of the foundational texts where all this wisdom comes from. They're like an anchor in a storm.
Next, their teaching should feel like a journey, not just a single stop. They'll guide you carefully, starting with the physical, but always moving toward the deeper, more subtle parts of the spirit. They get that it's a progressive path.
And this is crucial. An authentic teacher gives you more than just movements. They pass on the why. They teach the profound philosophy that gives every single posture, every breath, its true and lasting meaning.
And finally, a true keeper knows that fire is not a toy. They respect its power. They'll have the wisdom to warn you about the dangers of an untamed practice, and they'll guide you with real care, not carelessness.
All right, now the focus comes back to you. Because the future of this ancient flame, it doesn't live in your apps or on your digital screens. It lives in the hearts of dedicated people. And so I am charging you now with one final task.
I want you to think of this as a personal trial. Find a quiet place, sit with a straight spine, like you're guarding a great treasure right inside your own chest,
and just close your eyes. For a moment, just think of them, and not just in yoga, but in your entire life. Who were the teachers that gave you a piece of their wisdom, a little spark of their light? Go ahead, picture them in your mind right now.
Now think about this. What made them a true keeper? How did they honor the knowledge they held? How did they pass it to you with such care and wisdom? Try to really see those qualities.
Now, open your eyes and look at your own hands. You hold within them all the knowledge that's been passed down to you. And here is the final truth. The purpose of that light was never for you alone. It's meant to illuminate the path for someone else. And so, I leave you with this. Your task in this new world of yours is to be a keeper of this ancient fire. To pass it on, not with some grand gesture, but maybe with just a single authentic act of wisdom. The question isn't if you will, but how.